we got people that can help us work through things like, oh shit. I would like to say, this thumbnail, this is not a fan site that somebody just went like, oh shit. This is, TYT has, has famously had $1 million backers, is it like pounding fucking cash as far as like support from viewers, and they've got a members only thing, and they want you to know that the policies that they're advocating are so important that you should pay to join the members only thing so you can watch it after they cut off after the first hour. Because nothing says caring about the community like charging for good ideas. Now, granted, I don't think they have any good ideas, but you understand where I'm coming from. Also, what the fuck is that? Oh, thank you. Hi. And now is it Cenk shows MTG who's boss on TYT. Cenk destroys right-wing lunatic QAnon Barbie bitch crazy pants on TYT. No, it doesn't. Just MTV, listen to me. MTG joins TYT to talk about neocons' useless foreign wars. I think we agree on more than we disagree on. Now, why now? This is just yesterday. Why the fuck would Cenk have MTG on right now? Why would he do? Why would he do it? That's why. Yeah. See, Brian Kemp probably had a real shot against Ossoff, but quite frankly, the Republicans would come after him more, and so he decided not to run. More than likely, he's going to be one of these guys who runs as a Republican presidential candidate in a couple years. That said, once he stepped down, MTG, who's a beyond regional candidate, the idea that she could win statewide is a little bit ludicrous, but she's going to need a lot of help if she is. She's going to need a lot of people, crossing party lines and voting, for what they care about. And this Ossoff fella has got to go because look at his face. And so she's going to be a great solution for the people of Georgia, and she's brave enough to come on DYT and talk about useless foreign wars and how basically fuck Ukraine. So at least they agree on something, I guess. What the fuck is this?
Thanks for having me tonight.
Congresswoman Green, good to have you on the Young Turks.
Really? Is it good? Is it good? Is it as good as when you had fucking Matt Gaetz on?
Hi, thanks for having me tonight.
No problem. So normally
some problem, I would hope. Right? Some problem?
Disagree a lot. And you've seen some of that.
To say the least. But you're here and I'm a clout fucker, so thanks.
But tonight we're going to talk about something that's that we might have in common, and I want to get a little bit of information about what's happening on the inside in Washington, and see if we can maybe prevent a war. So the two sides coming together here.
Oh, okay. So they think she's an ally on fighting Iran. Okay, asshole. She's not for like fighting in Iran or an actual battle. She would rather just nuke them out of existence. She's worried that we will get into a war where we actually give a shit about civilians.
What I hope is...
somebody asked, what the fuck is a Young Turk? The Young Turks are the Turks that committed the Armenian genocide. They were basically the brown shirts of the Armenian genocide. That's where that phrase comes from. And this guy's Turkish. It was Turkish. He's American, but his family's from Turkey. Yeah. So So he's from Turkey originally, and he named his left-leaning show after the people who participated in the Armenian genocide. You know, for lulz.
Is a good.
Oh, by the way, Anna Kasparian is Armenian. So you have to ask yourself.
Mission. So let's start on Iran. I'm worried about a war with Iran. It appears you're worried about a war with Iran. Do you know where it stands today within the Trump administration? Because you and Tucker Carlson and others seem so concerned that it makes me more concerned.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And I just want to thank you for having me on your show tonight. I think it's incredibly important that we find common ground as Americans.
Oh boy, yeah, she's running. Yeah, that's what she's always, I mean, obviously, she's got a history of finding common ground.
And that's never a bad thing, even when we do disagree on other issues. So thank you so much. I have been very concerned.
Asshole, you got their number from Matt Gaetz.
And I'll tell you why. A little bit of my background. I'm one of those Americans that
watched a lot of QAnon videos and got sucked into that and thinks that there's a baby eating cabal under the White House, and she was equally against Hillary Clinton as Cenk was, and they kind of like both jockeying for reasons why, but both of them agreed she was a baby killer in the abstract, largely because of S-chip.
Sick and tired of the narrative that we're constantly told that we're supposed to hate some country that's overseas that maybe we've never been to. We don't know anything about that country, but we're told that they're the greatest threat to our freedoms.
Okay, I don't know why you're talking to Cenk. You've got Trump on fucking speed dial. We aren't being told that about Iran right now. There's not a drumbeat outside. There's no buildup like there was, around the Iraq war and that kind of stuff. There's no like yellow cake argument going on with them. In general, people are reporting what they're doing, but good Lord, again, it's your fucking dude.
Our democracy, and that we have to go to war with them. We saw this. We'll go back to Vietnam. We went to Vietnam and we lost thousands and thousands of American soldiers, and we lost that war. We went into Iraq. We were told we were to look for weapons of mass destruction. Well, we didn't find any, but we ended up being stuck in the Middle East for a long time, and then ended up in Afghanistan looking for Osama bin.
Is that what happened? I don't remember what happened. Yeah. Okay, so let me be abundantly clear. She's not against killing these people. She's against being drawn into a protracted war because Iran actually has a military. And again, your party controls the House, your party controls the Senate, and your party has the presidency and arguably the Supreme Court. Why the fuck do you need to go to the TYT? Oh, that's why. I see.
And he wasn't there either. And then we were told that the oil in the Middle East would make us rich, and we were told
what? That's what Trump is saying now.
Rare earth minerals in Afghanistan would also make us rich. Well, that didn't. We're $36 trillion in debt. And
I don't know what to tell you. Thanks, Trump, for fucking up COVID.
I'll just be really direct. I'm unapologetically for our country, the United States of America, and I want to fix our problems here at home. And I believe that's what everyone's.
Yeah, I want to fix our problems here at home, like making sure that trans people are terrified. That would solve a lot.
Tax dollars are really supposed to be used for, and
So you're going to vote against the $1 trillion military budget then?
I just don't buy the narrative anymore. We've been told for years and years and years, I'm longer than I can remember, that Iran is on the verge of having a nuclear weapon, but we continually ignore the ones that have nuclear weapons, like India, Pakistan. They're actually, starting a war with each other right now. What about North Korea? They have.
Okay. All right, dipshit. what about North Korea? Your dude went and talked to them. Like, this is goofy. And again, does Cenk actually have a fucking response to this? Does he ever talk? Or is he just, is she just, okay, does he ever, I mean, she's going to blather about this. Let's see if he responds at all.
A lot of people on the left say, don't even have Marjorie Taylor Green on. And if you do, you got to yell at her, etc. And so.
Sure. How about just start with the don't? There aren't other people you can fucking talk to?
That's our audience, Representative Green, on our website, tyt.com, whether we should have you on. And it looks like, what is that? 82% say yes.
Right, because your entire audience is fucking Russian bots at this point. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry, do you think, nobody thinks this is like the TYT audience from 2006, do they? Or whenever they fucking started, 2009?
And here you are. And once you come on, it turns out, oh, wait, you agree with us on Iran? And by the way, you agree with us on Vietnam and Iraq. So.
Vietnam, really? So we're sorry, I didn't realize that was unsettled business. Sorry? Are we invading Vietnam now?
If we can actually prevent a war together, that would be amazing. So.
Yeah. Trump would never listen to you in a million years, and she's got his fucking phone number, and she's here talking to you instead of him. I'm telling you, if it's a priority, she's wasting her fucking time. What do you think she's gonna do? Come here and get people who are allegedly anti-war to be more anti-war so that Trump can ignore them even more? What are you talking about?
Now let's talk about, yes, but how deep is it right now? Like, I know for the Iraq war, they did a lot of propaganda, and Young Turks been around forever. We're the longest running show in internet history. And so we were.
Yes, you do seem to be out, overstaying your welcome.
Air for the Iraq war. And at the time, Ben Mankiewicz and I were like, no, don't go.
Did that work? How was that? The rest of us were in the streets.
Attack us, they didn't attack us, right? But they built up a lot of propaganda before they went in and did the attack. In this case, it looks like there's some significant drama, moving of the chairs around in the Pentagon, in the National Security Advisor group. So do you have a better sense of how close we are to war right now?
Well, there was a development today. I've been constantly saying for several weeks now, I've never seen a Houthi or a Houthi or however.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I've never seen a Houthi, so why do we care?
Pronounce it. I don't even know what they look like. I haven't.
It's a shame. That's a shame, Marge, because I think you'd love them. I gotta say, I think you guys would get along like a house on fire. Hold on. This might be the reason. Yeah, Marge, I can see why you wouldn't, want to, you'd be against any kind of interaction with them that would, put them in a negative light or a negative circumstance.
Them back home in Rome, Georgia, where I live. I haven't seen them in Washington, D.C.
You've never seen a germ either. Maybe that's why she's anti-vax. Living in Georgia, I've never even heard of these fucking biotics, so why do we need antibiotics? Have you ever seen a biotic? I've never seen one. I've seen a fucking fox. So I've seen squirrels, but I've never seen a biotic. Why do we need antibiotics?
And I keep saying that, how is this a threat to everyday Americans?
Because what, like 40% of world trade goes through that strait, and they're firing on ships that affect the availability of fuel in the world, which would raise the price overall, even for Americans. It's also innocent people are being killed and kidnapped. I mean, not that Cenk's nephew gives a shit.
they are not threatening us here at home on our homeland. And I think this narrative broke through, and I was excited to see President Trump say today from the White House during one of his press conferences that there has been communication with the Houthis, with Yemen, and they have decided that they have said they won't bomb ships anymore. And
no, they didn't.
President Trump said, well, we will not bomb the Houthis. So I think.
Right. Well, that would be why we were bombing them, then I would argue, right? That would be the goal of it. So you would say that mission accomplished. You wouldn't say that there was no mission in the first place and you don't give a shit. I don't even know what he was doing. But if he stops doing it, I'm just happy. Like, asshole, according to you, there was a bad thing they were doing. They stopped doing it, and therefore we're going to stop attacking them. That seems to be a logical use of power. How were you dissing Hassan? Yes, he's a piece of shit. He's garbage. He's an asshole. He's an apologist for China and the CCP, especially around what they did to the Uyghur Muslims. Fuck him and his toddler brain. Other than that, I have no opinion.
That's significant, and I was very happy to hear it. But I also think it was important to speak out. And I thought it was important to remind everyone here in Washington that always seems.
Yeah, and it worked out great, dummy. You did a great job. You ended up on the Young Turks. You can't get on Fox or Newsmax to save your fucking life. But there you go.
Forget the campaign promises that are made on the campaign trail. The biggest part of this campaign, one of them, was no more foreign wars. No matter which country it is. We don't want to go to war for Ukraine. We don't want to go to.
We weren't going to war for Ukraine. We were supporting them in their war because they were innocently attacked, but we weren't going there. Oh, wait, but thanks to Trump's mineral deal, it looks like we are. We're going to have to provide security forces for the mineral extraction forever, I think. So is that a forever war, or is that yeah.
Against Iran? I don't think we should be fighting wars on behalf of Israel. And many Americans agree with that.
Yeah. How is the Antichrist going to come back and declare himself God at the temple, and then have Jesus come back and strike him with a lightning bolt and wipe out all the Jews if they're not all in one place? And why he wants to kill as many as he can when he gets back, right? So why would we want any of them to die in a war with Iran? We want them there so Jesus can kill them, because they killed him and it's only fair. And he's one thing about Jesus you can tell is he loves to hold a grudge. Read anything.
So I was pleased to see President Trump's announcement today that there had been communication, and they said no more bombs.
Hi, stupid. That didn't actually happen. He made it up. He's talking out of his ass. He's trying to declare victory over people who don't have a real communication stream within certainly your circles.
So, look, first, credit where credit is due. When Netanyahu asked him to bomb Iran and Trump didn't,
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Week or 2 weeks ago, I was very happy about that, and I gave Trump credit for that. And now you're, reporting more good news about, not bombing Yemen anymore. We'll see if that holds. But Representative Green, we're having these conversations because the Trump administration is filled with neocons. If it wasn't filled with neocons, we wouldn't need this conversation. He said anti-war. You're very clear about that. You're super clear about that. I'm clear about it. But all of a sudden, we're having a conversation about how we might go to war. So how do you think the neocons got there, and how powerful do you think they are within the Trump administration?
How about this? I think they're full of shit. Trump is full of shit about the no wars thing. He just no wars where we don't get anything out of it. He thinks America should be running a protection racket, and any war we go in should be a resource war like Russia. Go in, steal their shit, and tell them to fuck off. Also, I also think that you're full of shit and she's full of shit. Yeah, but she'll be a great Anna replacement. That is a good point. I think I mean, have your people talked to her people?
Well, I would say they're powerful on both sides of the aisle, to be honest with you. We saw Democrats in the House and Senate vote overwhelmingly to fund the war in Ukraine. And we saw Republicans do the same thing in the House.
They're not funding the war in Ukraine. If they wanted to fund the war in Ukraine, dipshit, they'd give money to Russia. They'd allow Russia back into the SWIFT system. They'd allow Russian oil to be sold, because that would be funding the war, because Russia started it. And if Russia left tomorrow or was driven out, the war would be fucking over. Us helping, that's like, y'all are just pro-rape. Why? Because you set up all these rape crisis centers. And it's got the word rape, like I see the word rape on it, and you must be for rape because you're allocating money for these rape crisis centers, as if rape is a crisis anyways. That's the same argument. If you support, like, victims of violent crimes, why are you supporting murder and assault and sexual assault? Why are you doing that? God damn.
In the Senate. So I would say this is not a one-party problem. This is a two-party problem. And this is also the military-industrial complex that is very, very powerful. Because
all right, yawn. This is the same fucking talking about the military-industrial complex and big pharma and these big organizations that, by the way, compete against each other for contracts and all that kind of stuff. They don't just get to practice. The military gets to test some stuff, but the military-industrial complex is a fucking made-up phrase. It's aggravating. There are competing. Look at how many moves Palantir has fucking made since Trump was in there. Do you think Palantir's part of the Boeing Raytheon group or whatever? If Boeing and Raytheon and all those groups together were sort of the military-industrial complex, would Palantir get a shot at all? The fucking dude would have been pushed out of a Black Hawk helicopter over the ocean. Yes, and she's an investor in Palantir.
No matter what administration it is, they somehow find a way to get their foreign wars.
Fuck you. Joe Biden got us out of Afghanistan, and unless you give him credit, eat shit. I don't want to hear it. The next question would be like, hey, Joe Biden against, the generals were telling him the same shit they were telling Obama, the same thing they told Trump, and he was like, fuck it, we're out. I don't care how painful it is, we're done.
However, I really give President Trump a lot of credit for standing up against this. And the announcement he said today was, I think, extremely significant. But we still have a long ways to go.
Yes, you have to go from complete idiocy and that is devoid of reality to some semblance of normalcy. Jesus Christ. Okay, so chat room, let me hold on. I think Axios had a story about this whole nonsense earlier. Let's see, Houthis. I guess that should bring it up fast enough. Whatever. This says, Trump says, yeah. This is. I think this is the one we talked about this morning. Yeah. Yeah. Here you go. Here's the story. I'm sure Cenk knows this. I'm sure he's going to throw it right back at her and not kiss her sorry ass. Trump said Tuesday that Yemen's Houthi rebels had capitulated and told the U.S. they will stop attacking ships in the Red Sea. The Houthis refuted that characterization right there in the first paragraph. Why it matters. Okay, what he's saying. Trump said that they don't want to fight anymore, and we will honor that. That's exactly what she's talking about. We will stop the bombings. They have capitulated. That we will take their word that they will not be blowing up ships anymore, and that's the purpose of what we're doing. And also, they weren't blowing up ships. They were trying to blow up ships. They were firing missiles and that kind of stuff. And also, they just fired on Israel. Take what you will from that. Secretary of State Marco Rubio added that this was always a freedom of navigation issue. You had a band of individuals with advanced weaponry that were threatening global shipping, and the job was to get that to stop. And if it's going to stop, then we can stop. Sure. Thanks, buddy. On the other side, Mohammed Ali al-Houthi, which I'm fairly certain this guy is fairly close to the group in question. A senior member of the rebel group said Trump's announcement about suspending U.S. strikes in Yemen will be evaluated on the ground first. He said Trump's statement is a victory for the Houthis, who managed to separate the U.S. and Israel. Daifullah al-Shami, a member of the Houthis political bureau, told Al Mayadeen television, Trump's statement shows he wants to save face because of the failure of U.S. aggression against Yemen. Al-Shami said Trump is lying in order to get out of the situation he found himself in. Whatever he says, we will not allow. This is the part. So remember what Rubio said? If it's going to stop, then we can stop. Okay, here's what their political bureau guy said. We will not allow any Israeli ship, to arrive to its port until the aggression against Gaza is stopped and the siege is lifted. A source familiar with the issue said a truce with the Houthis had been negotiated in recent days by the White House envoy Steve Witkoff through Omani mediators. One Omani foreign minister spokesperson said those efforts have resulted in a ceasefire agreement between the two sides. In future, neither side will target the other, including U.S. vessels in the Red Sea and the Bab al-Mandab Strait, ensuring freedom of navigation and the smooth flow of international commercial shipping, the Omani statement said. The Omanis are also mediating U.S. and Iran on the nuclear talks. Many international vessels now take a far longer route. It's unclear if Trump's claim will give them confidence to transfer through there, so nobody's moving back to that area. Right. There you go. Senior Israeli official told Axios the U.S. didn't notify Israel in advance of Trump's announcement of a truce with the Houthis. We didn't know about this. Trump surprised us, asked what he would do if the Houthis continue to attack Israel. Trump said he would discuss it. Well, they did. They fired a missile at the Tel Aviv International Airport, and it landed nearby. And it's not even a question. They took credit for it. So, yeah. All bullshit all the time.